Now, we've covered a lot of information in our presentation. We're going to shift gears a bit. We have, for our Q&A session, our relationship coach, Mrs. Kaye Hutchins. And I want to take a brief moment to introduce her. Kaye Hutchins is a relationship coach and mentor who works with singles to supplement and transform the single mindset. Kaye believes that being single is a season that many may feel uncomfortable in, but just as any other seasons of their lives, it is not permanent and will pass. If worked correctly, it can be a time of study, reflection, finishing goals, and working on yourself, and becoming the man or woman you always envision yourself to be. Kaye has been married for over 11 years and has 2 biological children and 3 by marriage. She's had to reinvent herself into the woman that she is today. With her coaching skills, many men and women have turned relationships around and found their future wives and or husbands. They appreciate her down-to-earth and witty spirit because she makes coaching a ride more enjoyable. Kaye holds a business and general education degree. She's currently writing a book about how you can transform into a significant single before you are found by a suitable significant other. Let's welcome Ms. Kaye Hutchins. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. So we have some questions that we have submitted in regards to singleness in a waiting room of expectation. So we're going to jump right in. This is our first question. How can we be more proactive in our waiting room experience?
One can be more proactive by, if you're in church, joining a ministry, serving, learning to love yourself, doing things for yourself that you would do once married. For example, put candles around your bathtub. Do a bubble bath for yourself. It's not something that you have to wait for marriage to do. Just kind of learning yourself. Use that time to take care of yourself. And in doing that, you want to enjoy that quiet time, because once you do get with a partner, the quiet time is over. I can say that, just for example, I have one young lady that I coach in Grey's Anatomy. She loved Thursdays for Grey's Anatomy. That was her thing. Well, her soon-to-be husband talks through Grey's Anatomy, so he's talking through it. So that quiet time that she once enjoyed, she doesn't get to watch it the way that she used to. So enjoy those times, and just go through it, and don't think that it's the end of the world in doing so. And that's a way that those are some ways that you can become proactive.
Okay. Let's look at the second question. While in the waiting room, what are some strategies that one could use to maximize opportunities to meet potential prospects?
We have to become a bit more social. We have to talk to one another. And even if it's just through social media, some of us have social media pages and nothing. Won't speak on them, won't write anything on them, but we have to be social in order to meet someone. You can't just stay in the house. Get out of the house. In that taking care of yourself moment, still look nice when you go out. Just because you're not with someone, your husband might be, and you might bump into him, or your wife, you may bump into her. So you want to be, your presentation, you want it to be right. Those are a few strategies. And also smile.
Smiling, being social.
Smiling.
Okay,
yes.
and your appearance. Okay.
And coming, and also showing that you are coming to the table with more than a fork. And I can't say that enough, that you're coming to the table with more than a fork. I'm not just coming to eat off of your table, but I have something that I can contribute, as well as you have something that you can contribute and we can do this thing together.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, I like that. All right, let's look at our next question. What are some examples of how one can be blinded while in the waiting room with expectation, or maybe lose your focus?
Sometimes you're blinded by the advice that you were given through the years. That aunt, that family member, we received a lot of advice from people in the family who never made it out of that room. And it's hard to take the advice from someone who never leaped to where you're trying to get to. And I think that they give it to us because they don't want us to be hurt. And they know the hurt that it can cause. So they kind of give us this, just forget it. You can be by yourself. It doesn't matter, And so those are, you can get blinded by that. You also can get blinded by just believing that you're going to stay in this single stage. It blinds us because you begin to kind of get comfortable in it, and something or someone or an opportunity can be right in front of you and you just don't see it because your blinders are on.
Okay. Which kind of takes us into this next question. What are some ways that our expectations hinder us as singles from moving forward out of the waiting room?
Well, our expecting what you imagined in your mind. You imagined the person that you're going to be with. You imagined that she was going to be Coca-Cola bottle shape, okay? You imagined that he was going to be 6'5" and you was going to be looking up. All of these things that you imagined, and when it doesn't appear in front of you, you have the tendency to think, oh, that's not it, that's not the person, this is not the moment. And so you just kind of, push away when that could very well be the person that you really could have made it with in life. That could have been the person that you were extremely happy with for many years, till the end of time. But we hinder ourselves with that.
Okay. All right. Which kind of piggybacks on this next question. I want to talk about blocking opportunities. So how might a single person be blocking opportunities to find or be found by a potential mate?
Dishonesty, not being honest with yourself.
Okay.
I'm good, I'm single, I'm good. If I have to be single for the rest of my life, I'm okay with that. Deep down inside, it's not true. You know it's not true, but that's the persona that you're doing. And once again, it's to protect. It's a coping mechanism. That list that I spoke of, that hinders us because, we wrote that list probably when we were 16 years old and just began dating. And now we're beyond the age of 16 and we're still clinging on to something that we wrote from many, many years ago. And we can't let something that we wrote in our young minds stop and hinder us from who we are in our maturity.
Okay. Well, you mentioned earlier about being too comfortable in the waiting room. So how can we become too comfortable in that waiting room, and how does that really look for some people?
I'll give you an illustration. If you went to a doctor's office, some doctor offices look clinical. So it isn't where you want to be for a minute. It isn't you want your name to be called. We want our name to be called immediately anyways. But now they have it to where you may go into a doctor's office and it's flat screens on the wall. They may have a makeshift fireplace and it looks quite cozy in there. And you're okay with, being in there. It makes the wait a little bit more comfortable. However, it's still a waiting room. And for those with children, some of them even have a little area where the children can go to make the wait even more acceptable. But it's not a place where we are to be forever. And just as your name will get called, you know, while you're in that doctor's office, your name is going to get called when it's time for you to link up with someone as well. You just have to be ready.
Okay. So always stay ready, even though it could be a little too comfortable.
Stay ready,
okay.
And don't get so comfortable that you want to stay in that place. It's a waiting room. It is not the forever room. So don't get too comfortable in there, or you'll be stuck in there. And who wants to be stuck inside of the doctor's office waiting room?
Okay, I like that. Okay. So let's look at purpose. What advice would you give singles who are looking to discover his or her purpose while in the waiting room with expectation?
Well, your purpose, first of all, just knowing that the marital status does not define you. Your purpose is your purpose. Never let anything, whether it's marital status, where you are, employment, whatever the case, whatever it may be, you never let anything, including your singleness, be a hindrance to your purpose. You always want to stay on task with that. You always want to develop yourself. You have to remember that even when you get into a relationship, you're still only a part of the relationship. You're still your single person. Mm-hmm. So you have to continuously develop yourself and your purpose.
Okay. All right. Let's look at confidence. Some singles have lost their confidence as a result of being in the waiting room for a longer time, like a prolonged waiting room experience. Mm-hmm. What advice would you offer regarding being confident in your purpose while still desiring marriage?
Just basically not letting the desire to marry be something that makes you feel bad. Some people will make you feel bad for wanting to be married. Mm. Some people will make you feel like you're doing something wrong because that's your desire. We have had measurements of time from birth when you really think about it. When we were infants, by so many months, it was time to come off the bottle and start food. Once that happened, you know, you're a toddler now, you're ready to walk, you're looking at the big kids, and it's like, okay, I can't wait till I get to that point. And you do get to that point eventually. And then just using the illustration with children. And then once that point comes, you're in elementary school, now you can't wait until you get to middle school. Once you're in middle school does come. Once you get to middle school, now it's high school. Now after high school, if you choose to, is college. We've always had measurements of time. And then what happens when we become mature and adults, the measurement of time drops off. So now you're wondering, why isn't it happening? When it's happening for others around you, you're wondering why. When will it be my time? So you want to keep your confidence while you're single. Sometimes you just need to develop yourself. Just like we had to develop, you wouldn't want to be in the second grade and middle school. You have to develop through those years.